Yes, we are here. Man oh man, with Daya. Welcome to the program designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by men. The Mailbox aired every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101 FM, the family station. I am Kevin Bailey.
And I'm Courtney Morrison. Welcome to the mailbox. Today is Integrity Wednesday. Kev, you're good. Where we get to talk to a man of integrity. And it's not Kevin or myself we're talking to. A man that won't lower his standard just for any and anything. You know, sick COVID has really tested some of our men during the season in their marriage, leadership positions, Christian walk, and more. I must attest to some of those challenges as well myself. And I'm telling you, Kev, how has your
Yeah.
weekend been? What's happening? You know, KC won
Ah,
the Money Cup. Yay! You know, we have to just jump up and cheer. You know, that's the biggest thing for me on the weekend.
congratulations to you, Courtney and Casey, and all those who have been supportive. Great job. Just to let you know, it has been a great time. In Kingston Keswick began last Sunday. Reverend Peter Garth has been sharing the word, powerful word, for the last 3 nights. We've had lunch hour speakers as well. Great men, heads of denominations, who have been sharing the word. Very powerful. We continue, of course, tonight. We have Shepherd's Night, and Dr. Barry Davidson is going to be on. And of course, we have to big up the man. Them. We have men's gathering Saturday morning, 8 a.m. I want all the man them from Morning Point to Nickel. It's gonna be a wonderful time. Evangelist Errol Rattray is gonna be speaking, and Jason Downer is gonna be on. We're gonna have Nigel Martin, New Testament Church of God, and host of other man them as well. And here, so it has just been a very wonderful time, a blessing, and I am very privileged to serve on the council with the man them. And our special guest today is my chairman, so I'm excited about this, Courtney. But what has been happening in your neck of the woods? How have things been?
Things have been good. We're still in our own circles doing a 21 days of fasting. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to join in the nights just yet. But tomorrow night and
Yeah,
Friday night, definitely Saturday morning, without a question, in
thank
Keswick.
you.
And so,
Yeah,
it's a time, this first 21, 30 days of the year, where most churches spend their time praying for the nation, for men, for women, for children, praying about leadership. And as we can see, this crime situation, crime and violence in the nation, which has just skyrocketed, which without question needs divine intervention. Not only that, the amount of deaths on the road. And so it is something of concern. And so it's a good position for the church to be in and for men to be in terms of prayer and fasting for this nation. And indeed, Kev,
yeah.
who better to talk to today than a man who is so involved, the Reverend?
I know you're right, and we're gonna be getting different perspectives on marriage, on leadership, on the Christian walk, how you face crisis, and he has been around for a long time. From I just remember from the days of Birthright. We have a message to spread a yard,
This
and he
message
has just
is
been.
pure and true. Hey, hey. No, man, that's change, man. You
uh,
sure?
uh,
We find out.
we, we, Yeah, man. Birthright was there, full of energy.
Yes.
But you're right. We're very concerned about the indiscipline on the road, and I believe we need to have a conversation and do some next steps. How to really deal with the indiscipline, the atrocious driving. I have to big up the police, maintaining on Winchester Road. And then what the drivers do is they use Ruthven Road instead to do this overtaking because they can't turn onto Winchester because the police is there. And different places in front of Calabar. And I'm saying, my gosh, boy, I just pray that none of the students get hurt but sometimes that's their racing course again. So we have to deal with that. Then we have to deal with corruption, and the crime and violence. And I'm thinking, Courtney, that as men of the church, light and salt, I have a feeling that we should set the temperature. So what are the next steps? I believe that we need to have a conversation, and maybe locally, nationally, and put our heads together to see what else can we do to really be the light and salt and transform this nation.
And I'm really
So
praying that we don't end up politicizing these things. They're national concern and not one of just partisan politics.
no, and we can do that because
Yes.
if God gives us the wisdom means that we can be authentic representatives of Jesus Christ without having to take sides or partisan politics and petty and egoistical decisions, but filled with humility and wisdom, we can
Amen.
represent Christ together. I believe we can. So guess what? We're right in line. We're dealing with our integrity man today, and our integrity man, he is no stranger to Love FM. He's Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels, by the way, Bishop Stevenson Samuels, former Love 101 Campus Connection host for over 10 years. Amazing. Justice of the Peace. He's pastor of the Waltham Park New Testament Church, a very large church, by the way. Former chairman and now member for the National Leadership Prayer Breakfast Committee. Member of the National Executive Council of the New Testament Church of God in Jamaica. My chairman for the Kingston Keswick Council and convener of Jamaica Keswick. Husband, very important functionary, husband of one, wife Lorraine for over 31 years, father of two wonderful children. So, Courtney, I believe we're going to have a great time learning some things and kind of go the journey with our brother, Steve.
He's a wonderful man to be around. I also remember he was once the leader of Jamaica Cause. I remember that year we had that march, but we get to know more about him. So, man and man, remember, we want to hear from you. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. You can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. Women, we welcome your participation in the program by leaving us a message via WhatsApp or comment on our Facebook page. Females, remember, no calls or voice notes allowed. But remember, you still get to participate. We want to hear predominantly from our male in terms of, especially today, the issue of integrity. And so, please, we want you to participate by texting on our WhatsApp line 9973125 or just leaving us a message on Facebook or our YouTube page. Appreciate you. Kev.
Yes. So, after the break, we're going to have a chit chat with our integrity man, who is Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels. We want to find out many things, want to know how he balances his life, being a pastor, chairman, committee member, father, husband, wearing so many hats and still being able to be a man of integrity. We want to find out. So we're going to take a break. This is the mailbox. We're going to be right back in a moment.
Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
January 21st to 29th. Celebrate H&L's 94th anniversary at H&L Agro. Get up to 50% off selected seeds, gardening accessories, pesticides, and more. Visit your H&L Agro store to save. Conditions apply.
For nearly 100 years, Massey has served its customers and communities with heart and innovation. Now, built on a more strategic model, Massey is poised for growth and committed to powering change across the region and the globe. Their next big move is the cross-listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Now, this household name can become part of your portfolio, giving you access to diversified investments and competitive dividends. One stock, multiple portfolios. Massey.
The classroom is now open. Our children are getting back to the things they love.
When they get home from school, help them to keep the family safe from COVID 19. Remind them to immediately wash hands using soap and water.
Remove uniform, turn inside out, and place in a container used to store dirty clothes.
If the uniform will be worn for a second or third day, hang it in the sun or air dry.
Shower immediately if possible.
Throw away single-use masks or place reusable ones in container used to store dirty clothes.
Stay away from family members if they are not feeling well.
Continue to frequently wash hands with soap and water.
And always wear a mask when leaving home. Let's get back to the things we love with the people we love.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Life comes at you fast and it can hit hard. Apply for the Credit Union Prepaid MasterCard from C&WJ with chip and PIN protection. Need a card with a personal line of credit for emergencies? We have that. Need a card you can use to shop online for that must-have item? We have that. The community and workers of Jamaica Prepaid MasterCard. All the convenience of a MasterCard. Discover the benefits of belonging.
Get ready for the Woman Ignite Success Summit 2022. 2 days of intense worship and conversations about building kingdom wealth, leadership, marriage and relationship, mental health, finding purpose, and more. Featuring mental health expert Dr. Caroline Leaf, LA-based entrepreneur Heather Lindsay, plus worship with Rhoda Isabella, Alicia Taylor, Nadine Blair, and friends. Woman Ignite Success Summit, a life transforming event. January 28 and 29, Corley Auditorium, Kingston. Book virtual or limited in-person VIP tickets at womanigniteja.com. Powered by Digicel, Sagicor, One Group, Jamaica Observer, and Love FM.
For nearly 100 years, Massey has served its customers and communities with heart and innovation. Now, built on a more strategic model, Massey is poised for growth and committed to powering change across the region and the globe. Their next big move is the cross-listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Now, this household name can become part of your portfolio, giving you access to diversified investments and competitive dividends. One stock, multiple portfolios. Massey.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man.
I am a man. Well, welcome back to the Big Box and Love 101 FM. Welcome. I'm Kevin Bailey and my co-host, Pastor Courtney Morrison, in the place as well. And Courtney has been versatile, standing in on the rock, doing very good. Courtney did very well.
Thank you.
And noticing, great job. So we are going to be looking at our Mentegrity Man. This is Mentegrity Wednesday. Sometimes you hear the word "no good man not day," and the talk is there. But we are seeing some vast improvement, in our men. For instance, saw the report that 4 out of 5 children born now have their father's name registered on their birth certificate. I think that's a great improvement. I wish I had my father's name on mine, but there was a dash. So I say him gone, him dash way. But no, we're having men.
Are you sure his name wasn't Dash Bailey?
Dash. Hey, Courtney. Maybe he was a sprinter. But it's really nice to see the changes, men taking on their responsibilities. And I have to say, Courtney, you notice the amount of men's movement and men's focus. Whether you're talking Magava or you're talking Man Up, there with Dr. Coombs and Michael McAnuff, movement there, Valentine, Reverend Valentine. It's a city of movement. It is like, I think, the Spirit of the Lord is just touching hearts. And I am looking forward to how it comes together. And here we are, Courtney, playing our part, making a contribution to the landscape of challenging, encouraging, and empowering men. I'm really excited about that. What you say, Courtney?
Thank you for encouraging me about sitting for Steve Blair on the rock. It was a nerve-wracking time for me to be alone, Yet, indeed, it was quite a nice run, And indeed, our men movement are coming to the fore, which is really an excellent sign. There's also a new study that shows that more than 78% of our men are also in the homes. No, so
Wow.
that is speaking well to what is happening round about us. Our men are ensuring that they're doing and at least being recognized for what is happening round about them. It is important. It is very, very important. Anyhow, guys,
Yeah,
guess what?
man.
We're talking too much about other things and we want to talk to our guests. It is time to get into the main segment because time of a way of catching up on us, which it already has. This is our main segment, the inbox. Today we're looking at a man of integrity and we want to find out who is a man of integrity. Proverbs 10:9. The NIV says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. And we are hoping when they're found out, they'll straighten it out, right? So, Kev, tell us a bit about Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels.
Thank you, Courtney. So, Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels, JP, is pastor of the Waltham Park New Testament Church of God. He is a chaplain at the University of the West Indies and the University of Technology. His commitment to nation building has caused him to serve as former chairman and now member for the National Leadership Prayer Breakfast Committee. And we just had National Leadership Prayer Breakfast. Reverend Ambrose Lee did a great job challenging us
Excellent.
individually and collectively as well. Powerful time, and yeah, that was really wonderful. So sits on an
Extremely,
executive
extremely.
council of the New Testament. Yeah, yeah. So Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels, sits on the National Executive Council of the New Testament Church of God in Jamaica. Courtney,
Reverend
I
Dr. Ron
think you have
Ambrose
some more to
really
share
did
with
an
us.
excellent job at the prayer breakfast. That message was really powerful, pointed, balanced, unbiased, and without prejudice. But we want to say some more about Dr. Stevenson. He's currently chairman of the Kingston Keswick Council and convener of Jamaica Keswick, an initiative which seeks to bring the 9 Keswick conventions under one umbrella. Its academic formation reflects a mix between the secular and the spiritual. This began with studies in mechanical engineering at the University of Technology, followed by his pursuits of a degree in economics and management at the University of the West Indies. In preparation for ministry, he studied counseling, psychology through the Caribbean Ministries program at the Caribbean Graduate School of Theology. He also read for his doctorate at the Columbia Theological Seminary.
So we're hearing lots of stuff. Here, June Dawkins from Connecticut, USA, says, "Hi, gentlemen. Good evening. That's my pastor, Sir Samuel of 65. Yes, definitely a man of integrity. From mass choir director, youth pastor, a great motivator to the youth at 65 and beyond, lover of music, and
Yes.
undoubtedly he's passionate about God and his love for his sheep, and he being the shepherd. So already we're having comments right there. Thank you, Joan, for starting the ball rolling. Even when we don't hear a word from our brother, persons are already making comments. Welcome, brother Stevenson Samuels. Great to have you on the mailbox, and we are very, very excited to have you. I think you're muted, Sir Steve.
I'm not
So
muted now, though. I'm on now. You can't fool me on this one. I'm on now.
no, it's great,
and
really
I
great,
and
great job.
and I know I noticed you had a good person starting off there, Joan Dawkins from Connecticut. You have people listening to your program all over the world. I say you're global.
Yeah, I think his Courtney's face, attract all these global people. So I am in
Kev,
good
when I grow
company.
up, I want to be just like you. It's your face, man.
So I get the privilege to ask hard questions of my chairman, and this is wonderful. but it's so good to have you as
Yes,
our man
yes.
of integrity in a nation that seeks role models, and we constantly want at least to say to the boys to men that you can look at the life of a man of God. You can look at a man who is authentic, not perfect, because we're not Jesus, but a man who is a role model in so many ways. And so I know we want to get right into it, Courtney, because time fly, right? But great, welcome, Sir
Good to
Steve.
be here and good to see both of you. Really have a lot of respect for both of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm sure, have the same level of respect, not even so much greater. You see, there's a Reverend Dr. Bishop onto your name, so there are accolades that are attributed to you. But I'm sure the
Courtney,
same one of men of God is good.
Courtney, you only know me as Steve. You only know me as Steve, okay?
So we still have to tell our listeners from one point in Negril and overseas that over
Yes.
his adult years, Pastor Samuel has provided leadership and management in the field of education, religion, music,
Yeah,
engineering, counseling, youth
man,
development,
man.
and male formation. He's also
Yeah.
former co-host of Love on Campus Connection for over 10 years. Courtney,
Yes,
you,
and he has been
you,
married to Lady Lorraine for 31 years. They have two adult daughters. Congratulations, Stephanie and Abigail. And the word Abigail we know means father's delight.
Of course.
So, what we have here
yeah.
today.
And when they come on to Stefan, it's a derivative of Stephen, which means a crown.
Yes,
Ah, wow.
You see how the thing go?
Wonderful. And we saw the record, and we have to find out from Steve the secret to remain young and energetic. What is the because it appears that
yes.
Steve has found the fountain of youth. And he has to be telling us a part of this interview. I know he's gonna share some of the secrets, Courtney. How
Definitely.
to remain
From
youthful
the days of
over
birthright,
the
I
years.
call him Elastic Man, Energy God. Capleton have nothing on him. So this is,
So,
You know,
so
a
a man
couple.
of integrity who value
Yes.
what is honest, true, noble, trustworthy, kind, and right, ahead of personal gain. Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels. So again, this is welcome. Just to start the conversation,
Yes.
Sir Steve, tell us how long have you been in ministry? We want to know, for instance, was pastoring something that you dreamt of, like as a little boy, you're growing up, and this is where your dream? And then share a little bit about your childhood experiences. Where were you born? The family and early childhood influences.
Right.
Sir Steve.
Yeah. Lots of questions in one, but that's fine. So
Yeah.
I've been in formal ministry. I've been in formal ministry for approximately 24 years now, in that region.
Wow.
We call that formal, credentialed ministry.
yes.
Uh, but I've been preaching from I was 15 years old. And that is
Mm.
kind of like really preaching, like street preacher, bus preacher, market preacher.
So
Yeah,
from as
yeah.
early
So,
as
so
15, was it that you detected that pastor was a calling on your life? Was it something you wanted to do? Have
um,
you always want to be in ministry?
yeah. So I don't know if I would say that pastoring was something that I wanted to do. But I received, I would say, a radical conversion. I just became a Christian, and I understood, to a large extent, the whole thing of being converted and transformed. And I just became a radical kind of guy for Jesus. I I I was
When
kind
did
of
this
like,
happen, Steve?
um
Where did it happen? When you were 15?
all right, yeah, all right. So I became a Christian in the region of 10 years old, right? And uh but when I went to high school now, I kind of started to hang out with some guys. So so I really, I kind of I, I became, yeah, I kind of difficult guy to deal with in at school, like seriously difficult. So I would be sent to the principal regularly.
You were a
Um,
mischievous young man.
all right, yeah,
Caning wasn't instituted then back then for you.
Kenny, we
Yes.
get holy for that.
Wow. And this was at
No,
Meadowbrook High School.
yeah, Meadowbrook. Yeah, I went to Meadowbrook. So what had happened was that when I went to Meadowbrook, I mean outlaw, really kind of yeah, on the wayward path. I don't know how I got there, right? Um, but the thing is, I had seven of us from my family actually went to Meadowbrook. So Meadowbrook was like the home of the Samuels, right? And I was the last one. So so the principal and the teachers and everybody would have known. My when I went in, a sister just left and she was like the head girl. And then when I got in, my brother at the time was the head boy. And then my other sister was lining up to become the head girl, a couple years after. So, I mean, so the family was known. It's a school. It's a school's fam. It's a school's. It's a family's school. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So by the time I went, I was the seventh child of the family that went there. So everybody know me. Um, uh, so it was difficult because here I am with brothers and sisters who I had to live. I was expected to live up to, their standard. Um, I mean, now I live up to for them standard. Me I do my thing and me I go on away and so on. And then me I tell brother, there came a point when Jesus just touched me, like like Paul on the road to Damascus, Yeah,
Mm.
like in about the ending of third farm, I'm going to fourth farm. So me go back to school in a fourth farm and it's like me's a crazy youth for Jesus, And and it kind of turned around to the point where I became, like when I became kind of like a radical in high school for some other thing. It just turned radical for Jesus. Like radical in a way where even not do schoolwork. Lord forgive me, but Um
How did
Oh,
that affect your
so what?
friendships at school? Yeah.
no
Yeah.
yeah, so some of my friends may have to just drop because they can't handle the intensity of Jesus when me I deal with, you know. Um but there was a small band of Christians that were at the school, including my sister, the one that would have become the head girl a little later. And they were really very serious Christians. So I started to hang out with them. And there were about six of us there in the school that were kind of in that little group there. And within a year, the group grew to 150, 150,
Wow.
and we start
Wow.
take over the school, like, like seriously take it over. I mean, like captain a bunny couple would be a Christian, and the captain of the track team would be a Christian, and you know, well, the ball people, everybody, man, just again saved, like wow, it's kind of it was really
But
crazy.
Steve, just a little bit. What what caused that transformation? Like, was it like at a church you went to a meeting, hear a word? Was it just by you and God? Just to give our audience, did you hear God's? Did God speak to you? Was it? What happened? Just that
Yeah,
little connection
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah. So I would say two things I think I could maybe try to explain. In my
Yeah.
when I went out coming out of third form, and then when I went into summer, I went to a camp, right? That was run by my own denomination, and I think a serious transformation started there. I mean, at the camp, you know, I mean, young people get kind of crazy when them go camp, right? So we go at the camp now, The camp never me used to some little cadet camp where a beer, bad boy there where I go out. Father, forgive me. We could come off on the road there, car.
You come off on the road a long time. Man.
Yeah. So now we go to Christian camp and the Christian camp, bloody man. And Holy Spirit did a big time, and well, I tell you, my life get turned around at the camp. My life get turned around. I really became a very serious Christian when I left there. And then when I went into fourth form, I went to another camp. But this camp now was kind of like a leadership camp. A leadership camp for ISCF. God, when I went there, no, it's like I went back to school now with a fervor and an energy, So it turned serious man for Jesus now. Like Holy Ghost bad boy. I don't really want to say that. We can't do mix up Holy Spirit and bad boy together, but it kind of work out that way then. You have to understand, see to understand. I've kind of been like that throughout my whole life, post those days, and so I went now to this leadership camp, and not only now was I transformed from spiritually now, but I kind of came into an understanding of leadership and ministry that was bigger than me, And so when I came back from that camp, I became a serious leader now, because now I have the life transformation and I understand ministry engagement. Gee whiz, no sir, the thing turn up, And we go to school now, we just kind of get almost. I almost was on the same wayward path, but for Jesus, like.
You have become a Jesus fanatic.
Yeah, I was a fanatic. I'm serious. I really was a fanatic. And
we just want to take a pin here and take a time signal. You're listening to the mailbox. We're talking to Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels. He's here with us sharing his own life story on Mailbox, the Integrity brand of Mailbox. And so we're going to take a break and we're going to come right back to you.
Nearly 100 years, Massey has served its customers and communities with heart and innovation. Now, built on a more strategic model, Massey is poised for growth and committed to powering change across the region and the globe. Their next big move is the cross-listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Now, this household name can become part of your portfolio, giving you access to diversified investments and competitive dividends. One stock, multiple portfolios. Massey.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
For nearly 100 years, Massey has served its customers and communities with heart and innovation. Now, built on a more strategic model, Massey is poised for growth and committed to powering change across the region and the globe. Their next big move is the cross-listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Now, this household name can become part of your portfolio, giving you access to diversified investments and competitive dividends. One stock, multiple portfolios. Massey. For nearly 100 years, Massey has served its customers and communities with heart and innovation. Now, built on a more strategic model, Massey is poised for growth and committed to powering change across the region and the globe. Their next big move is the cross-listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Now, this household name can become part of your portfolio, giving you access to diversified investments and competitive dividends. One stock, multiple portfolios. Massey.
Get ready for the Woman Ignite Success Summit 2022. 2 days of intense worship and conversations about building kingdom wealth, leadership, marriage and relationship, mental health, finding purpose, and more. featuring mental health expert Dr. Caroline Leaf, LA-based entrepreneur Heather Lindsay, plus worship with Rhoda Isabella, Alicia Taylor, Nadine Blair, and friends. Woman Ignite Success Summit, a life-transforming event, January 28 and 29, Corley Auditorium, Kingston. Book virtual or limited in-person VIP tickets at womanigniteja.com. Powered by Digicel, Sagicor, One Group, Jamaica Observer, and Love FM.
Boy, me lose my land and all of my livestock take a bushfire. It left me on my face.
Protect the land. Respect the warning. The time by Jamaicans Against Bushfires, JAB, is
6 minutes past the hour of 6 in the evening. And you're here listening to the program, The Mailbox, live on Love 101. And Mailbox is actually the #1 mail program in the nation. We can say so. We've been doing it for 9 years. I actually heard that market research has shown that. No, so we probably be hearing about it later. Yes, Kevin, hats off to you, sir. And so we're here talking to the Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels, former member of the Birthright Group. Yes, winner of a national JCDC competition, popular song competition, music enthusiast, energy enthusiast, but I don't know, an ethos of just enthusiasm that it just exudes from him, and we're here with him today. He may look younger than Kevin and myself, but we are sure he's not. So, but he does behave younger than us all. He was telling us a story of his radical conversion to Christianity after being on some camps, moving from bad boy into bad boy for Jesus. And then he came into an understanding of leadership. I want you to just connect the dots from there about this Christian leadership that was now just filling you up and overflowing to those round about you.
Right. So I at that point now, it took me about a year to kind of settle into Jesus. Good. It's like when Paul got converted and he kind of hung out with Apollos and them guys. And so by the time I got to fifth form now, I was like a firebrand now, and that was when now I started to engage in the preaching of the word. And that kind of preaching now was not, the kind of nice preaching in church on a Sunday morning. But it was like, so I became a street preacher, really. And so it would be street side and markets and buses and stuff. And so I was kind of like getting kind of like weird, like, because, in my family, I'm not really supposed to be doing those things, yeah. So I'm very cautious in even saying it now, because, yeah, I'm not supposed to be, yeah. But that's how it went, that's how it went. So most can't say that publicly now, not true.
Don't it? You come of age.
And especially because you ended the podcast, no you take.
Yeah.
You have got the whole government that you have important titles and letters. No. So you redeem yourself, like, it's like you.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How did you, Steve? How did you reach like CAS? No, you take. Yeah. Give us a little bit.
Yeah. So when I was in third form, yeah. I was more going along the line of the sciences. So, I mean, this is one of the natural paths. If you're doing like physics and chemistry and stuff, math and so on. And I was kind of like along that line. So went to CAS now and was into engineering big time. But I met up on some crazy Christians up there too, just like the ones I met at Middlebrook. And Middlebrook, I mean, we started to get serious, it's like the whole school now under curfew, and it's like we have to run the school for real. It felt that way to us, and like the principal had to call us 1 and 2 times, and Yeah, I am now that I am an adult and look back, I was sorry for the teachers because it was just too intense, right? But we
Mm.
couldn't help it,
It was
and
like a day
children.
of Pentecost.
Yeah, it's
Sort
like
of
Pentecost happening. Yeah, man, it's like Pentecost happening all over again, and children getting kind of, you know, serious. Um, so I left that now, and I went into another fire. Cause when we got cast now, you have some crazy guy up there was serious about Jesus, and why them get me in the thing with them, and yeah, it just get intense. And so my leadership became strong up there, and I became the president of the Christian Fellowship there, UCCF, and UCCF start grow, get big now, big. I mean, when all right, so when at our retreat, is 150 people we carry go a retreat,
Whoa.
one Christian retreat from a school,
wow.
and the school was 3,000 people at the time, and 150 people were carrying them.
Yeah.
So it really has kind of it started to burst at the seams now, you know, and it became very radical too. People were becoming Christians, and we had by the time I got final year now, we really wanted to reach out to the student community in a very serious way, hardcore. So that's now when Birthright started, and boy, it was just some guys who could just play and sing that were there on the campus in
Mm.
1 year. We just had all of these
Yeah.
people, man. Boy, I mean, we just started the band, and we decided we were going to use a reggae genre to reach out to the guys
Oh
on the
yes.
hall, because I some I some hardcore boy up on
Yes.
remember, UTech is like, we're doing engineering, and we're doing construction management, and civil stuff, engineering and things. So
Yeah.
the guys that are there are really seriously kind of hard. They're smart, but they are kind of hard. So we we
What
birthright.
challenges did those guys present to you at that time, Steve? Because I mean, there must have been challenges. You're moving out in this radical arena. You're developing your leadership skills, but at the same time, I'm sure there must have been some opposing cliques and groups.
Yeah, man.
Tell
Yeah,
us a bit about those.
yeah. So at that time, politics was a big thing in Jamaica. Because I went to UTech to cast in 1980. So that was like the peak of violence and political tribalism and all of that kind of stuff. And the communist group was strong. So in my class, the head of the communist movement on the campus was in my class, and me a Christian,
Mm.
and him a communist, and we hard, the two are we hardcore, and nah let up. You know? It's just one. It's just one kind of almost aggressive kind of engagement. So the Lord really kind of blessed us in that period, and the Christians kind of grew strong. And then on the campus too, you'd have had now in engineering, you'd have had a lot of girls man guys in engineering, because them guy they kind of crew them way there, galley thing
Mm.
and so on. So that would have been a big thing, sexuality on the hall, and it's still a big thing in the universities. I'm a chaplain, so I'm aware of some of the things there.
Mm.
Remember, these guys, testosterone is at your highest level, between say
Yeah.
21, 27, so them
Mm.
guy there, yeah, and so that would have been a major thing, yeah. Ideology, sexuality, and sex. Yeah, those would be big themes on the
So,
campus, politics and stuff.
no.
Hmm.
And so, Steve, because we know how time is, and we want to get everything, want to rinse as much out of you. Cherry from Spanish Town says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Always enjoy your man talk, and it's great to hear about the men's movement. Hats off to Pastor Samuels, a man of many hats. Hats off to all the men of integrity. Keep doing your best in lifting the banner high for the Lord. Blessings always. And also Jacqueline from Clarendon. I love to listen to Pastor Sam here. We also have a voice note. So I'm thinking we could, take the voice note and then come back. We want you to kind of share with us. Certainly benefiting from your chairmanship at Kingston Keswick, and because we're in the midst of it, we want to hear some of how your leadership style from those days is impacting you right now. But I think we're gonna try and get the voice note. Yeah, from this video.
Good evening to the men of God. May I big up my pastor, Pastor Stevenson Samuels, man of integrity. Big up yourself, Pastor Sam.
See him so.
It has to take Pastor Sam to get those kind of voice notes. You understand, Brittany? Yeah?
I understand. Kev, before you touch the Keswick question, I remember Pastor Stephen Samuels was also pastor at the Escarpment Road New Testament Church of God, New Testament Church, and a significant thing happened in one of the years that he was there. There were 0 deaths in Augustown.
Right.
So if you can connect the dots with that sort of leadership with Keswick, how it's impacting from then, and what happened, on that landscape, especially in a climate of violence that we're experiencing now in Jamaica for our men, what are some of the things that we can look at?
Yeah, very, very, and that's a very sobering statistics for me. So when I went into Escarpment Road, the New Testament Church of God, to pastor, I found a community that was torn by violence. I mean, whole heap of violence, man, are dead, left, right, and center, murder. And everybody knows that. So, if persons are listening from Augustown now, they would know. Murder would be a big challenge every year, just multiple deaths and so on. And the community isn't big; it's relatively small, so it really should not be so homicide oriented, putting it nicely. But one of the things I found when I got there was that there were a number of persons that were concerned about a better Augustown. And there was a certain level of organization in the community. So that's one of the things that you can help to combat crime. People don't understand it. But one of the things that helped Augustown is that there were a number of groups, we call them community-based organizations that were meeting, there were sports clubs, ministers fraternal, it would be citizens association, it would be and some little groups too that were started by ordinary people in the community just wanting a better community and wanting to get young people together and so on. So I found that was a big help. Another thing that would have been a big help is that there were a number of governmental organizations that were operating in the space too, CSJP and a couple others. And then I would say too that the university also played a big role. They facilitated a lot of the meetings that we would have had. It would be a neutral ground that we could go and talk peace and so on. And the church, I feel, played a significant role also as one of the CBOs. In fact, when we started the CDC, Community Development Council, it was the church that put up the first chairman and secretary and so on, and helped to bring that group together into existence. So now I played a significant role through the church, and my church and the other churches. The fraternal would do a lot of intervention on the street, doing street meetings and that kind of a thing. Would also be involved in some of the social interventions like as we say, CDC. I was a chaplain for the police, and I went there basically every Thursday. Yeah, me. And we, just do devotions there and challenge the police officers and just give them support as they face the challenges. Another thing that would what that I would do, I did a number of things on my own and another a number of things together with uh, other groups and with the church. So if sometimes when somebody died, somebody would be murdered, we go up on the scene fast and one big drama, make up thing and go on away some time and go on away, like we're crazy, like we're not in a sense and pray and sing and and so on. We did a lot of marches, like peace march. We linked up with victim support unit and we did some training in that area, and we reach out to those who are suffering from grief, experiencing grief because of death. We go on murder scene and we kind of oppose the murder. It's just one. Hey, it's a whole heap of things. Going to schools and doing devotions and challenging the little children, because them are going to take back the message, back to them yard, and the father them are going to hear it and so on, Mother we are wash out blood and all them sitting there. Them are going to hear from them little picnic. So you have to, you're just doing multiple interventions, serving on school boards and so on. So you see, after you're just doing that over. I mean, over, brother. When we say over, I mean, you think of going to a police station every Thursday, and come people all wonder where I'd over there, and I wonder say I inform and all them stuff. And you stay with it. That's a very powerful thing. I think also the injection of university students kind of help to calm the area. So that would be a kind of residential community for university students. That's where university students live. A lot of them live in Augustown. And when you have university students living in their space and they have to pay rent and they have to buy from the shop and they have to get them ear trimmed from the barber, and sometimes people in the area wash them clothes and things, you can't trouble them. So for university students, there was safer. I'm telling you this. Augustown was safer than the other middle class communities that students live in. May I tell you that? They're not trouble them. So it helped to kind of create a kind of behavior change in some of the people that were there. You can't do the violence around the kids because their parents are going to move them out of the community, which has happened on a number of occasions. So after a while of doing that over and over again, the peace just come. To be honest with you, when it came, I was shocked. Because it's not like we say, this year is going to be a no murder year. Every year you say that. So I say that every year. It not happen. But one year, hey, let me tell you something. I just want to encourage all inner city communities now. Just try, man. Just try. Try everything. Try everything. Man, dead, go up on the scene. Talk to guys who that are engaging in criminal activity that you suspect. Meet with them, talk with them, encourage them. Just do every single thing you can. And one day, you must come through, I tell you,
Well, just want all listeners to know we're having conversation with Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels, and boy, lots of stuff. Pastor Lionel Lewin said, big up to the mailbox crew, big up Dr. Steve,
Lionel, man, I'm a virgin.
Mr. Energetic, very inspiring. Keep up the good work, she says, Bishop, and keep up the good work, mailbox crew. Then Sister Pam says, good evening to you all. I love to hear Pastor Sam. He's a great man. Just continue to do what you're doing. God bless and keep you and your family. And we also have a few comments on Facebook. Courtney, you want to run a few of those? I know what time is going.
Let me try to see. We have a voice note as well.
And okay.
Good evening, mailbox. Great job, Pastor Stevenson Samuels. I know I don't supposed to voice note, I should text, but my hands are full. So I just take the time out to text and I say, congratulations on your achievement. You have done a great job, and I think you should be awarded. I don't know if you get none of the Heroes Day award as yet, but I think someone should nominate you in the field of religion or community service. Someone should nominate you this year, and the nomination start from January to March each year. So I think someone should nominate you. Let's up yourself and continue to do what you're doing. Great job.
Wow. Amazing. You know, that's the level of work. Sister Ray, man there, this man of integrity is real, not fake. He's my friend. He has a vibes. Daddy down to earth man. He never get ahead of himself. Please lift up your hat to Sir Samuel. Powerful man of God, but very humble. Blessings. Good afternoon. Thank you, Sister
Oh, you
Ray.
man.
Reverend Sam. Andrew Green says, Reverend Sam, a pastor who speaks the language of the people. Andrew Green says here, Wilfred Forrest. Rev, I remember it as a time when teenagers did mighty things for Jesus, eating solid food when our counterparts were drinking milk. Wilfred Forrest. That's
Hey,
what he said.
You see Wilfred Forrest now? Wilfred Forrest and me, I come from primary school, you know. So yeah, so went to the same primary school and the same high school. And when he was one of them alongside me who kind of just got turned around for Jesus. And yeah, and his family was kind of like mine. You know, we came from the same community and he had a lot of brothers and sisters. He was the last one like me. And a couple of them went to Meadowbrook too. So yeah, hail of Wilfred. I fired him there, brother. I tell you.
Oh my. Steve, there's no way we're in the middle of Kingston Keswick right now. You're the chairman of Kingston Keswick. You know why Kingston Keswick? What you hope this movement, whatever you call it, the contribution to make, what people need to expect and from you and the leadership. Yeah, talk to us a little bit about.
Yeah, a quick thing about Kingston Keswick. Two things I want to say about Keswick in general. There are 9 Keswicks around Jamaica. Kingston Keswick is just one of them. Two things. Number one, Keswick, the Keswick movement is interdenominational. You know, it brings together believers from different denominations to come together as one. So that interdenominational thing is powerful for me because the scripture says that by this shall all men know that you are my disciples when you have love one for another. And the scripture says that on the day of Pentecost, they were in the upper room, in one place, in one accord. So there is something about the coming together of believers that makes it work. And you know, Augustine is a clear example of that. When we had no murders, the Christians were coming together over the years, just praying, seeking the face of the Lord. That helped. All right. So coming together were miracles. And then the second thing is that this business of Keswick is all about the deepening of the believer in Jesus Christ. There is the thing that speaks about all one in Christ. And so Keswick is focusing on the Christian becoming closer to God. And recently, Kingston Keswick now has been looking at coming closer to God, but using that closeness to God to engage and impact the world. It's not now just becoming closer to God, but how that closer to God is going to help you to transform the society around you, your family, your household, your community, your nation. Being close to God must not just impact you, but it must impact your world. And so for me, that's one of the big things about being involved in Keswick, the coming together of believers. You can't beat that. You stay in your denomination, me stay in mine. It's not going away, brother. We have to come together as one. Yes, because God's church is one. And then what will you do with that oneness? You have to get close to God and impact the world. That's Keswick. You can't get bigger than that. Remember, I tell you.
Wow. Time is up. We've been speaking to the Reverend
Oh, the
Doctor.
time up already. The time can't up already,
6:30.
brother.
Look here,
No, sir. We have
you
got to
don't know. So
7:30.
when pastors start talking, you have to show them the clock on the wall. The ladies will hold up the handbag and say it's time. So
Who will show you the time? Tony K?
So we thank you very much. Thanks to our
Yes, my
producer, Tony
pleasure.
K.
My pleasure.
Brownfield, to Timothy Butler for technical support, to you, our listeners, and those who joined us on social media. Thank you. Thank you.
And oh boy, our integrity guest, Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels. And I have to put a plug for the man them Saturday morning, 8 a.m. We are gonna meet
Yes.
and we want to
Yes.
come and hear Evangelist Errol Rattray.
This
And in
Saturday.
fact, there's a number if you want to get information, 876-2356-267 John Rooms. You can ask all the questions. But man, we want you to show up and all the other meetings. Them. Sorry, we can't read all the things them. Yeah.
Sure, you
But
can.
thanks,
Hey, just tell the people them say every night, man, we'll have Keswick convention meeting at Keep.
Yes.
And every lunchtime.
Tonight, Shepherd's Night, Dr. Barry Davidson, Bishop Roy Notice, and women's and children. What about things? We see the flyer them. So this has been our integrity guest, Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuel. Continue to raise the standard. Thank you so much. Bless you and your family. And as you pursue God, represent Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. And I big up my wife, Larine. Without she, it could not respect to my wife, Larine. Every time. Yeah. My two daughters, them, we support me. Stefan and Abigail, respect.
Yes.
Love my family.
Listeners, catch us again next week for another Mailbox, the program designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by me, Courtney Morrison, and
Kevin Bailey. So, Monday up. Have a great evening.
Next week. Bless you.
I am a man, yes. Strong man. Integrity